Hi everyone, this is Ravi. Welcome back to Cypress Automation Beginners Tutorial. So as you all know, I have already published 3 YouTube videos covering the introduction part of the Cypress, and then also I have explained you how can you set up the environment for installing the Cypress, and also I have showed you how can we install Cypress, and then how can you do the project setup for the Cypress automation tool. So I would recommend you guys to please go through those videos before you watch this session. So this is our lesson 4, where I'm going to teach you how can we automate our first test by using Cypress. Please do subscribe to the channel, click on bell icon. You'll receive notifications whenever I publish more videos on Cypress. Thank you. So as part of this session, I'm going to teach you how can we create a file under Cypress Project so that we can start automating our first test. And also I'm going to teach you how can you specify the Cypress libraries so that you can basically see the auto completion of your commands. I'm going to explain you practically. And also I'm going to teach you how to write test functions. For test functions, we need Mocha. So Mocha is an inbuilt add-in that is being installed along with the Cypress. Okay. And then how can you run the tests? So inbuilt test runner with Mocha. So we are going to run the tests. And then also how can we use or how can we set up some configurations specific to Cypress by using Cypress configuration file. Okay, and also I'm going to teach you how can we access the elements and the element locators from your application under test. Okay, so now let's jump onto the system and see how can we perform all these actions by using Cypress automation tool. Okay, so this is my Visual Studio Code. I have already explained you in my previous session by how to set up the project, right? So if you remember correctly, so I have already set up the project called YouTube lesson Cypress framework, right? So as part of previous video, I have explained you the project structure that is being created by Cypress, right? So if you observe, this is my actual folder, Cypress folder, under which you have 3 different folders called E2E, features, support, and then node modules, Cypress configuration.js, package JSON, right? I've explained you all these files, and I've explained you the purpose of each and every folder and the files in my previous video. Okay, so now because in this session we are going to concentrate on automating our first test, so let's quickly jump onto the folder called E2E, right? In this folder, we are going to create a new file. Okay. This is where we are going to write our tests under E2E folder, not under fixtures, not under support. Okay. Here, click on new file and then name this file as my first test.sci.js. Okay, so .sci.js is our file extension. Okay, so here now, so once you create your first file to automate your tests, so if you see our agenda item, so create a file under Cypress project. So I have already created a file under Cypress project, correct? And then specify the Cypress library. So before you basically start automating your test cases, first you have to reference the Cypress libraries. Okay, how? 3// and then open braces, reference types equal to reference types equal to Cypress and then close. So what does this command do? So what I am instructing Cypress that for this test script file, please refer the Cypress libraries to complete the auto completion, basically to enable the auto completions while writing the script. Okay, so we are enabling the auto completion by referring to the Cypress libraries, right? So once that is done, now it's our time to write test functions. So now it's our duty to automate your test cases. So how are we gonna achieve that? So as I explained you, so Cypress has an inbuilt test runner called Mocha. Okay, so we are going to use Mocha functions to write or to automate our test cases. So the Mocha functions, Mocha test functions, if it starts with it, if you see, as soon as I type it clearly says Mocha.test function, only available when invoked via Mocha. So now the Mocha is already being installed as part of Cypress installation. Okay, it function. So as soon as I type it and then open curly braces, it says what is your title of the test function. So my title is Google search. I'm gonna automate very simple test case. Okay, my title of the test function is Google search. Okay, Google search, and then this is my title. What is the function? So we have to specify the function here. Function, right? Google search function, and then open curly braces. So here I am going to declare my function, the actual function. Okay, so it block, what is the title of your test function, and then I'm declaring a local function. Okay, so then now I want to visit a Google as part of my test function. Okay, I want to basically open the Google search engine. So for that, see, as I told you, Cypress has its inbuilt functions apart from the JavaScript. So apart from using the JavaScript for Cypress, we are going to use Cypress inbuilt functions. So all the inbuilt functions resides under a variable called sci. Okay, sci dot, as soon as you enter dot, it's going to give you all the methods that are available under sci. Sci dot visit. Sci dot visit. What to visit? I want to visit https://google.com. Sci dot visit this. Okay, and now so this is what I'm specifying. Okay, so now let me open the terminal. Let me open the new terminal. So before this, let me save this. Okay, and now I want to execute this particular test. This is my Google search is the test. Under this, I'm actually visiting google.com. Okay, so how can we run the test from the local Cypress? That I already explained in my previous video. npx cypress open. So this command npx, generally we use npx to interact with local folder Cypress tools. Okay, as soon as you enter, it's going to open your Cypress tool, and then it's going to execute this first test whatever we automated. So let's see. It takes couple of seconds to open the Cypress tool. Okay, now you can see it opened my Cypress tool, and I'm going to select E2E testing, right? So what it will do, it's going to initiate. So I want to run this test on Chrome browser. So as soon as you open this E2E testing, it's going to it needs to execute the test that we created. Okay, so let's go to our, so if you see here, if you see under specs, you have my first test here, correct? So let's click on this so that it runs the test. Okay, this is my first test. It's gonna open the website googlesearch.com. See, it's now it is opening the Google, correct? So if you see here, the left panel, this is my command log. So as I explained you in my previous session, see, whenever I hover on this command, whatever I basically wrote the test script, right? So whenever I hover on this, it's showing me a screenshot at the right side, right? And also it says one test pass, and also I can basically re-execute the test by clicking on run all tests. Whenever I click on this, so it's going to execute the test again, the same test again, right? So, and also if you want to basically see the time that has taken, so if you see here, the time is 3 seconds, correct? If you refresh this again, see how much time it took, 2 seconds and 3 seconds, correct? So basically you can run the test again. So now let's do a modification to the script. Okay, let's go back to our Cypress code. Let me do a small modification. Instead of Google, I want to do it as I want to change the name. Okay, as soon as I save the script, Control S to save the script, Control S, it's gonna run the test again immediately. So let me save this and see what it's gonna do. See, it started running a test again, and it is trying to search the new website that we have provided. So it's not gonna find the website, so it's gonna time out for us. Okay, so now again, let's see, I want to change the website again back to the valid website. So if you see, it is actually visiting the previous website that we specified. If I again save the script, Control S, immediately it will start executing the test again. See, now it's going to open google.com. That's it. So that means whenever there is a change in the script and you save the script, the Cypress automatically runs the test. What if I don't want to run the test whenever I change the script? So that you can configure under config cypress.config.js. Okay, click on this cypress.config.js. Here you need to specify watch for file change, and you need to call it as true. So that means whenever there is a change in the file script, it's gonna run the tests. If I don't want to run the test, you can mark it as false. So that means it is gonna, as soon as you save the script, it's not gonna run the script, right? That means I'm not watching for the changes in the file. Okay, that is the one configuration that you can do. So if you see, if you go to cypress.config.js, by default it will have this content. What I'm doing, I'm actually defining this watch for file change. I'm defining here under this function, under E2E. Under E2E, I'm defining watch for file change, right? And one more thing. So let's go back to our script again. Here, now I want to, once I search in the Google, right, I want to enter something. So now what is our next agenda? Our next agenda is, I have already explained you how can you perform write test, how to run the test. Now let's access the elements. Okay, for that, once I open the Google, I want to enter something in the edit box. So how can you access the elements of the application in Cypress. So if you see under Cypress tool, there is an option called, so if you see, this is my option. So this option is called, so let me do it again. Okay. So this is my element locator tool that is called Open Selector Playground. We call it as Open Selector Playground. So once you click on this Open Selector Playground, what it will do, if I click on this new object, it's gonna give me the element locator of this particular element. If I click on this object, see, it's gonna give me the element locator. If I click on this object, it's gonna give me this locator. Now let's say I want to enter some text in this search bar. So for that I need an element locator of this search bar. Click on this. So if you see, this is my element locator. What is this element locator? Let's go to google.com. Let's go to google.com. Sorry. Let's go to google.com to understand the property. Okay. Google.com. And if you inspect this, the class name, if you see here, the class what you are seeing here is this one, right? This is my class locator. So that is what it is showing you in your Cypress. If you see here, this is my class. Okay. So if you see here, if you see, I have a command also here, cy.get and your class locator, correct? So if I want to capture, or if I want to capture the command, I can directly click on copy to clipboard, copy this, and then you can directly go to your Visual Studio and then paste it here, right? Cy.get, this is my search bar locator dot type. So I'm going to type, what I'm going to type, let's say I want to search Cypress, regarding Cypress automation tool, for example. Okay, automation tool, that's it. Now let's save the script. As soon as you save the script, it's gonna run. See, it is running, and then see, it is typing Cypress automation tool. Done. So if you see, whenever I hover on the command, under command log, it is showing me all the screenshots. So apart from type, I typed here, but apart from type, I want to click on enter also, or click on search. How can we do that? Let me tell you. So how can we do that? So here, when I am entering Cypress automation tool, in Cypress, you can simply specify it as enter under curly braces. What it will do, it's going to type this, immediately it's going to enter, click on enter. So let's save this and see what is going to happen. See, it's entering, it's going to enter, and then click on enter. Done. So now it's clicked on enter and you got all the search results. So if you see here, so this is my, whenever I am hovering on the commands, see, these are all the commands. See, it is entering all the information. For every letter, it is actually giving me the screenshot, right? So this is how you can change the script, and you can basically use type function, type method. What we learned here, as part of this, we learned how to write the test functions, how can we access the elements, how can we do some configurations by using cypress.config.js, right? So let me do one thing here. Instead, this is my base URL, right? For every test, I don't want to call this base URL, right? For that, I want to create a configuration under Cypress configuration.js file as a base URL. What I can do, base URL, and specify the URL here. So I'm specifying the base URL under configuration. So as soon as you define the base URL under configuration, now you go back to your test file, right? Because I changed the configuration, I have to restart my Cypress tool, because whenever you change the configuration totally, you have to restart your Cypress tool. Okay, so now let's close this. So let's go back to our Visual Studio code, right? I changed the configuration. Now I want to change, because I'm specifying the base URL under configuration file. Now under script, I need not to provide the base URL here. Instead, what I can do, site.visit, here I can simply specify /. That's it. I simply specify /. What it's going to do? It is going to refer your configuration file from where it's going to take your base URL. Okay, so let me run this. Okay, to run this again, let me clear. So I want to open the Cypress. npx cypress open. So as soon as you click on open, it's going to open your Cypress automation tool, and then we are going to run this test with the modification whatever we did. Yes, it opened our automation tool, and here I'm going to select integration, end-to-end testing, and then I'm going to select Chrome browser, start E2E testing in Chrome, and it's going to show my first test under specs. So when I click on this, now if you see it's going to take google.com, your base URL from, see, it took the base URL, and then it's going to enter the Cypress automation tool and then click on enter. Done. So it's success. So that means, so by using configuration, right, as I told you, by using configurations.js file, you can provide your wait times, watch for file changes, base URLs, and many other configurations you can define in config.js, so that you can easily call those configurations in any test that you want. Okay, so now we are done with whatever the agenda of this particular session. We have learned how to create a file under Cypress project. How can you specify the Cypress libraries so that you can enable your auto completion? How to write your test functions by using Mocha, and then how can you run the test by using inbuilt test runner Mocha, and how can you configure the config.js, cypress.config.js files, so that it is very easy for us to maintain all the configurations. And how can you access the elements by using Cypress automation tool. So if you have any queries, please you leave your comments in the comment box. I'll try to reply to your queries. Please do subscribe to the channel, click on bell icon. You'll receive notifications whenever I publish more videos on Cypress. Thank you.